Welcome back to the Easy VC Brief. I'm your host, Max von Polnitz, and this is your weekly espresso shot to deep tech venture capital news. I'm here in the Foothill Ventures office, first time with the new rig, and also just got back from the Autonomous Conference. It's a new robotics and physical AI conference in San Francisco. There is a ton of hype in the physical AI space, with over $18 billion invested in the past 6 months. And today I wanted to do something different. I basically think I'm going to talk about some themes and ultimately not specific startups, but give you a sense of what I came across in robotics. Story 1. Can a robot learn physics by binge watching YouTube, then cram for that final? So picture this. You're trying to teach a robot to pick up a coffee cup without crushing it or dropping it. I watched the co-founder of Rhoda AI, that's Rhoda.ai, walk through how they're tackling this live at the conference. And their approach is basically a 2-step process. Step 1, pre-training. Step 2, post-training. In pre-training, they show the model over a year's worth of web-scale video, cooking shows, warehouses, footage, someone folding laundry. So it builds a gut sense of motion, physics, and how objects behave. The same way a toddler picks up a sense of gravity just from watching everyone else move around the living room. Step 2, post-training. Instead of needing months of robot-specific data to actually teach it a task, they only use 10 hours of real trajectory data on the actual robot. The heavy lifting already happened during the pre-training. And the use cases they showed were the fun part. One was a bearing decanting task on an auto assembly line. 10-kilogram boxes, a lifting strap that tears if you're rough with it, and a slippery plastic bag that's genuinely annoying for a robot to grab without training. Now, not everyone agrees this is a watch a lot, then do a little approach is the right one. Some researchers think the industry is still missing a piece regardless of which side you're on, arguing the real unsolved problem is turning messy internet video data into a clean enough signal for any robot to actually learn from, no matter the architecture. Technical note for the deep tech crowd, Rhoda calls this a direct video action model, skipping the usual vision language model that most VLAs use. And instead of training directly on video to action mappings, which is what lets them compress post-training down to single-digit hours, instead of the usual months of robot-specific data collection. As a newbie, I found it quite compelling and really curious what you guys think. Can a robot learn physics from internet videos? Story 2. Forget humanoids. The real short-term money is in the boring stuff in the factory. Everyone at the conference wanted to talk about humanoids. And look, Unitree is shipping around 20,000 of them this year, up from 5,000 last year. And some of these things can throw a kick that would make any stuntman nervous. It's wild footage. I love it. But here's my read. And I think the data backs it up. Broad factory floor humanoid adoption is still realistically a 2030 story. Today, the floor is dominated by boring specialized robots, arms, carts, forklifts, that each do one job really, really well. And the actual commercial opportunity right now isn't one robot that does everything. It's cheap Chinese hardware paired with the right software solving narrow jobs really well. One interesting tidbit I heard, robots are great at moving their bodies, but bad at understanding the world around them. It's why you see a backflip is a closed problem. The robot just needs to know its own joints, weights, and balance. Nothing outside itself changes. Stairs in a mall are an open problem. It has to read uneven steps, crowds, lighting, railings, none of which it controls. So flashy martial arts moves are actually the easier trick. The boring stuff, like literally descending a normal staircase, is what actually proves it understands the world instead of just its own body. Super interesting, great insight from Autonomous. Thank you again to everyone at the conference for that little tidbit. Story 3, physical AI is having its ChatGPT moment. What does that mean? Last story. And this one I think matters most if you're thinking about investing in this stuff and putting money in. And the conversation at Autonomous has quietly shifted. Now the question is, which layer of the stack actually captures value and creates durable business models? One analyst put it perfectly. We're at the GPT 2.5 moment for robotics. The capability is real, but there's still a big gap between what works in a lab demo and what survives a messy factory floor. It's a little like the early internet gold rush. Everyone knew the internet was going to be huge, but the money split unevenly. Some went to the picks and shovels, like Cisco building the actual infrastructure, and a lot went to pets.com. These bets that evaporated. So right now, the money's spreading across 4 different layers. The chips underneath everything, the foundation models like Rho Alpha, it's a Microsoft base, the orchestration software connecting it all, and the robot makers themselves. Personally, I'm quite interested in the software orchestration layer. Think of it as a traffic controller of robots. And this is by no means a brand new idea. Factories have run coordinated automation for decades. A decade ago, orchestration meant fixed routes, programmed once and left alone, like a train running on a track. Now, it's shifted from rule-based to AI-based. The system is making live decisions in real time about who does what, rerouting on the fly as the floor changes, instead of someone following a script they wrote 6 weeks ago. I find that fascinating. I think there's a ton of opportunity in that. And obviously, we're going to be looking at startups, investing, and building in that orchestration layer. That's your Easy VC brief for this week. World models versus VLAs, humanoids versus the boring stuff that's actually shipping in a factory, and the hunt for where the real value lies in physical AI. If you enjoyed this, send it to a friend building in the space. We are, of course, a seed stage investor with a growing portfolio in hardware tech. I'm Max von Polnitz. Talk to you next week. And as always, keep building.